And welcome to the Aaron Kantzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Kantzman. We speak to your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon to be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below if you've not yet done so. Please subscribe to both the podcast and to the YouTube channel, and with a capital A. And if you think somebody might actually find this of interest, believe it or not, there's a share button below that you can share and then send it to them as well. Wow, the wonders of modern technology. So I'd like to speak about an issue which is very hot in the financial planning community, the financial services community, and that's financial exploitation of seniors. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? I'm going to read partly from an article from Rick Kaler, who's a financial planner, and then we'll speak about it as well, because this is a huge issue for those of you who are watching who might be seniors, for those of you who may have parents who are seniors, pay close attention. And he writes, one serious risk to financial well-being in retirement that it's difficult to talk about is financial exploitation. Someone whose cognitive abilities are declining is vulnerable to harm from both financial predators and their own financial misjudgments. Protecting such clients is a crucial part of a financial advisor's role. A little known but important law, the Senior Safe Act, was enacted in 2018. It encourages financial advisors and institutions to report suspected elder abuse by offering immunity from legal liability when reports are made in good faith and with reasonable care. To qualify for these protections, financial professionals must undergo annual training to recognize the signs of exploitation and know how to act on their suspicions. And I can testify to you that we go through training and continuing education, which deals with exploitation of seniors all the time. In fact, you can actually go to the regulator's website and find out lots of information, scams, different information that's out there about financial exploitation of seniors. He continues, in many ways, the Senior Safe Act mirrors the duty of therapists to report when clients are threats to themselves, such as when a client becomes suicidal. Just as a therapist must balance confidentiality with the moral and legal responsibility to protect the client and harm, a financial advisor must weigh privacy against the need to prevent financial exploitation. Both roles rely on professional judgment, training, and the courage to act when the stakes are high. Financial advisors, accountants, and attorneys are often the first to notice troubling signs that someone is being taken advantage of financially. These may include sudden large withdrawals, changes to account ownership or beneficiaries, or a newly and overly involved friend or family member. Behavioral shifts like confusion, anxiousness, secretiveness, or uncharacteristic deference are also red flags. These patterns are unsettling and demand attention, even when stepping in is uncomfortable. And I can tell you as an aside, oftentimes, I can have a meeting with somebody who's older and somebody who I know well, and I will sometimes, if I suspect something, I'll just keep asking questions and having them talk, just to see if I can notice a little bit of repetitiveness in the answers, or going back telling me the same story they told me 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, to see if there's any signs of dementia, early signs of dementia, what their situation is. It's very, very important to make sure, where you're, where the senior is actually holding. One of the tools that we have, that we use, is called a trusted contact disclosure form. It's a document that it names someone that we can contact if we notice unusual activity. There might be a suspicious withdrawal or a transfer, sort of bizarre conversation regarding trading in the account, or like I say, if there might be suspecting on our end that the client is slipping potentially financially. I once met a few weeks ago with somebody who was older. They showed me their account statement, and I immediately raised red flags, because what did I notice? I noticed a portfolio that had shares of General Electric and all their spinoffs, some Coca-Cola. There was some Microsoft and Johnson and Johnson, and these were purchased in the 70s and the 80s. Okay. And then all of a sudden, I saw a lot of activity going on in the account. Lots and lots of buying and selling going on to the account. And I was like, well, if the client's holding a lot of blue chip stocks, and now all of a sudden at their advanced age, they're buying and selling and buying and selling, I wonder if maybe there's an advisor out there who might be churning the account, trying to generate some commissions. Maybe the advisor is fine, but the client is getting some bad advice from somebody, and all of a sudden starting to uncharacteristically trade, and that sent up all kinds of red flags. I spoke to the client, um, and it turned out it was a little bit of a combination, I think. Okay, I think there was uh, an advisor who maybe was not the most ethical out there, as well as the client just calling up and making trades because they were watching financial news shows, and they were recommendations of stocks, and they started to call up and say, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, and buy that. And the client and the advisor wasn't recommending them to do anything, but was happy to take the orders and generate the commissions. So that's a little bit of a problem, I would say, personally. This happens all the time. And it's not just crypto scams, or it's not just, phone calls saying, we all saw the movie The Boiler Room, where there's predatory action against seniors, where they're calling up, pitching penny stocks and, having them invest their last penny. I'm not even going that nearly that extreme. But you have to be very, very careful, seniors and those looking after seniors and children of seniors, to make sure financially that your parents are still making good financial decisions. And if they're not, it pays maybe to get some kind of a power of attorney on the account, or a trading authority. Something gives you the ability to speak to the advisor or speak to the bank or whatever the situation may be, so that they don't find themselves um, exploited and becoming the victim. And there are lots of victims out there, and you just don't want to be one, because it can ruin them financially. And there's not so much that you can do. And by the time you find out, it might be too late. Okay, so this is a very, very serious topic. This is a forum where, it's sort of a short talk, but it's very, very important to protect against exploitation and fraud against seniors. I can't stress it enough. And we spoke about some of the warning signs. You can certainly go online, to, the SEC website, to FINRA's website, other websites. Just Google, exploitation, financial exploitation of seniors. And there's going to be a plethora of, a wealth of information out there for you to look at, to be educated on it. So A, you don't fall prey to scams, and B, if you're younger, so that those who you're looking after, who are older, parents or what have you, don't fall victim to such scams. You've been tuning into the Aaron Katzman Show. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. And if you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll speak to you soon.